All right. Okay, so we left off yesterday when we, the last thing we did was we did block based on if they eat frozen pizza or they don't eat frozen pizza, and we stopped right there. So we did the outline for the 50 people who have never eaten frozen pizza before. So now we have to do a block, a experiment for the 46 who have had frozen pizza before. Okay, so let me take roll real quick and then we will start. Okay, so here we go. So we went through the whole process of the outline, right? So the next outline is going to be virtually the same, just with different people, because it's been blocked for there you go. If you've had frozen pizza, right? They feel that they don't want to put people who have never had frozen pizza together with people who have had frozen pizza, even though they're pizza lovers, because it says at the beginning they're pizza lovers. So, and these aren't going to be 40, 50. There's not 50 exactly. There's 46 who have eaten frozen pizza. Okay. Same thing. Work through that way, right? Still going to do random assignment. Still have two treatment. Still have one treatment and one control. Still going to give them a taste test at the end, right? We explained that. Could we do blinding for this one? For both of these, could we do blinding for utilize blinding? Probably best to utilize blinding, right? Because if a person sees the pizza, they might already, right? Just by looking at it, even if they're wrong, even if they look at it and they're like, I've never seen pizza like that. They might have something go, they might have a thought in their head, so it doesn't even matter what it tastes, right? Subconsciously, they might think whatever it looks like, right? So, probably be a good idea to blind them, right? So literally, this one would be literal blind, right? Blindfold and have them eat. So we would explain that. So the next thing to do is we got to explain how we do randomization, replication, and control. Okay. We want to be vague where we can so that we don't have to repeat anything, because it's literally the same procedure. Random. Okay. So anywhere we do random assignment or randomization, we have to explain. So we did random assignment to go into the treatment groups, right? So we have to explain how we did that. Again, they didn't tell us we have to use a random number chart. They didn't tell us we have to use names from a hat. Like in some of the homework, there was one question where they wanted you to randomize and they gave you 3 different options. They said, using the table of values, how are you going to randomize it? Using a calculator, how are you going to randomize it? Using pieces of paper, right? How are you going to randomize it? So they didn't tell us here. So just choose the easiest one. Okay. So all subjects numbered. So we could say 0, 1 to 4, 6. That's going to be for have eaten. For pizza. And then we could say 0, 1 to 5, 0 for never eaten frozen pizza. Or you can say 0, 1 to 4, 6 and 4, 7 to 9, 6. You can do that. Okay. I'm just doing it once. So if I randomly get a number, if I randomly get a 1, that means number 1 in the first group goes over here, and number 1 in the second group goes over here. So I can do it. I don't have to do it because I have to come up with 25 people here and 25 people here. So if I give, if I number these guys 1 to 50, and I number these guys 1 to 46, if I get a number 10, number 10 goes over here, number 10 goes over here. Okay. So let's see. Are we gonna so we're gonna use a calculator. Use calculator to randomly select, so I would go first 25 chosen goes to the treatment group. Second 25 chosen goes to the control group. Okay. So just be careful when you're doing these, that when you go over your randomization, you don't want me to be able to poke holes, because when I read yours, if I can poke holes and say, oh, wait, you skipped a step there, then you lose, that's where you lose points. Okay. So going over it in your head, what's the process, and then writing it down. Okay. So randomly, so we have two, everyone's got a number, randomly select first 25 chosen, go there, second 25 chosen, go there. I don't think I missed anything. I was going to say numbers out of range, because there will be numbers out of range, but that's only if we're using the number chart, the random digits chart, and we're not. So on a graphing calculator, you don't have to worry about numbers out of the range. You don't have to worry about repeats. Okay. Okay, that's the only place randomization takes place. Replication. So what does replication address? Numbers, yeah, how many times it's happening, right? So my numbers, I just thought about it right now. I said 25 and 25. For the second one, it's not going to be 25 and 25. It's going to be 23 and 23. So I should say that. So I should address that, right? This is for never eaten pizza group. And then I should I'm going to copy, paste. This one over here, I'm going to change it, not the first 25, I'm going to say the first 23. And this is going to be the have eaten frozen pizza group. Okay. Because the numbers aren't the same. All right. Okay, so we got that. Replication. So I'm going to go through, I have 50 people in my first group and 46 people in my second group. Okay, so I'm going to explain that. 50 subjects or participants in never eaten frozen pizza group. And here I have 46. 46 subjects in have eaten frozen pizza group. So the quotations just mean I'm repeating. Okay. The last one is control. So we explain who the control group is. The control group is, who is the control group? What is the control group getting? Say it again. Pizza Shop Pizza, yeah, is getting Pizzeria Pizza or Pizza Shop, same thing. Yeah, the kind where you don't have to make it. You order it, they give it to you. Me and Ed's, Round Table, Pizza Hut, Domino's, whatever those pieces you buy pizza from, where they don't expect you to make it. So that's the control group. And then we're talking about how we're going to talk about blinding, right? We said we're going to blind subjects will, actually, no, not subjects. We will use blinding. We're going to use blinding when having subjects eat pizza. You don't have to be specific because we know what that means. We know blinding means they don't know which pizza they're eating. Okay. And then last thing we're going to talk about is how we're going to compare. We will compare taste test scores, or we say probably average taste test scores. Average. Everyone will have a taste test. We'll have some sort of system, some sort of Likert system. A Likert system is where you rank them or you give them a score from 1 to 5, 1 being the worst pizza ever, 5 being the best pizza you've ever had. What would you rank it? That kind of thing. Okay. And that's done. So yeah, so Leah, yeah, that's a good question. That's a good point. Let's go back to the question here. What the question said, claims that people who eat it think it's from a pizza shop. Right? So we're under the impression that Pizza Shop pizza is better than frozen pizza. If that is true, then we're okay here because we're just looking for the best scores. If we're not okay there, then we would need to change it. We would need to have them, so we would compare. Let's see. So have them guess at the end. So have them, let's see, comparing guesses. So let's see. Trying to find a way to quantify that though, because how would we compare? We could do that. Yeah, we could do that. We could say compare the number of correct guesses versus the number of incorrect guesses here and here. Okay, that would work too. And then that would also change this guy down there. So we would compare this here, right? That's also, that would be fine too. 100%. I would give you full credit for that. AP would give you full credit for that. Okay. All right. Okay, so the last type, that's a block, right? That's block. That's when we want to block them certain, and we want to separate before we do the experiment into different groups. The last one is called match pair. Match pair. So when you hear the word match pair or the phrase match pair, what does it sound like you're going to do? Match and pair. Guess what? You're right. That's what you're going to do. Yeah, you're going to do that. Okay. So who do you match and pair with? Depends. There are two ways. You can match and pair with someone who has similar characteristics, identical twins, two people who have the same opinion about something, two people who are very close. Just depends on what you're testing. It just depends on what you're testing. Okay. If you're testing a new muscle supplement that's going to make you stronger, right? You're going to test, you're going to be paired with someone who's weighs the same, can lift the same, right? Or the other way to do it, most likely, most of the time you'll see this is the way they pair. Who's better? Who is the best person to pair you with? Yourself. A person is paired with themselves. Okay. So like, for example, if you're testing a muscle supplement or something, you would do some sort of lifting weights, how much you can, and then afterwards you would measure against yourself. Flores.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay, so that's exactly what it is. Okay, it's a type of block design. So it's considered block design, but it's a little different than the block design we were talking about. Okay, because if I have 50 people testing something and I pair them with themselves, it's kind of like having 50 different blocks. I'm running the experiment 50 different times because I'm comparing you to yourself, right? This question here, the question we had right here. This question here we did the first one we did an experiment all the way through. How could we change this so it's a match pair? Or could we? How could we change this so that it's a match pair? There you go, right? So have a person compare your own scores, right? So take one course, take the test. Take the other course, take the test, compare your own scores. So everyone compares their own scores and we see it went up, went down, what happened, right? You could do it that way, okay? Or you could compare to someone, you can match up with someone who has the same GPA as you, right? Even though GPA doesn't necessarily mean it's how smart you are. GPA means definitely how smart you are, but also if what kind of a student you are. But you would be able to compare that way. Okay. So that's how sometimes match pair is the best. So that's why we use match pair sometimes. Okay. So it compares two treatments by comparing the response of two matched individuals, units. It's a person, it's a subject. Okay. Two different ways. Match somebody up, match you with somebody up who's very close and similar, whatever you're trying to do, right? Doesn't necessarily have to be like a mirror image. It doesn't necessarily have to be like identical twins, but if you're doing an experiment with SAT scores, the person has to be, you can't match an A student with an F student, right? You can't match someone who is in 12th grade with someone who's in 11th grade. You can't do that because we're talking about SAT scores. Now I can match a person who's 6'5" with a person who's 5'2". I can do that for SAT scores because that has nothing to do with how good they do on the test, right? Their height or their size of their body has nothing to do. But if I'm testing a muscle supplement, right? Which makes you stronger. Then I'm not gonna put someone who's not the same size, right? I'm gonna put people who are the same size, same weight, can lift the same amount. Then I'm gonna do that, okay? So it just depends on what you're testing, okay? One subject received both treatments, i.e. a person is paired with himself, okay? Each subject serves as his or her own control group. Randomization is still used to determine who gets which treatment first. Or yeah, who gets which treatment or which treatment goes first. So this guy does not need a sketch because you would have to do many sketches, many outlines. So the only one we don't have to do an outline for is match pair. We just have to go through how do you do randomization, replication, and control. That's it, okay? So let's look at this guy here. We did this one yesterday, but we did it using block design. Okay, so we'll do one together and then I'll let you do one and then we'll be done. Okay, so we know the background, right? We know the background. People will use less water in the shower if they can't control. If I can't turn the nozzle to control the temperature, then I'm going to use less water. That's what they say. Okay, so we get 10 people who just exercise, 50 men, 50 women. We have 2 types of showers. One shower gets as hot as you like, I can control it. The other one stays at 120. So what can we do? How can we design? Before we start writing down anything, let's kind of brainstorm. Even though we don't have to draw any outline, let's kind of brainstorm what this would look like. So how could we do this using match pair? How could we answer that question using match pair? You could do that, yeah. I have 100 people, right? I don't need to block for gender. So all 100 are together. 50 men and 50 women. I could say, okay, so Mr. number 1, 01. Okay, you're gonna take a shower in the one without a nozzle, or you can just label the showers, right? You're gonna take a shower in shower number 1. The next day, they could come back, do the same thing in shower number 2, right? And then you could time them because we talked about it'd probably be easier to time them as opposed to measuring the water of some sort. That would be way too hard, right? We could just time them. We could do that. Yeah, definitely. That would work. Is there any other way we could do it? Is there any other way we could do it?
Just like two girls and 2 guys.
Mhm. Match 2 people up, yeah. So we have 50 men and 50 women. So if we're matching people up, do we want to match men with women or men with men? Men with men. Okay, so what would we have to do? Could I match up any 2 men together? No. What would we need to have? What would we need to do to make sure that we have a good batch? So you think their build was something to do with how long they shower? Their mental state?
I mean, the best people take longer shots.
Okay. Okay. What else? Couldn't we just ask them? Couldn't we just ask them a survey, give them a survey before when they're signing up for it? Say, how long do you usually take showers? How long do your showers usually take? I don't think they would lie, especially, you know, they were going to say, okay, around 15 minutes. Perfect. 2 15 minutes. You guys are together. About 20 minutes. Okay. About 5 minutes. Okay. About 7 minutes. Okay. We could do it that way, right? You could give them a survey before they do it. The best way to always do it is by matching yourself up with yourself, right? I think that's the best way. It's not the only way though. It's not the only way. That's what I'm trying to get at. There's other ways to do it. Okay, as long as you explain clearly. There are a number of different answers that work. Okay, so you don't have to draw a picture, but you can kind of look at a picture for match pair. We're going to have one person. They're going to be the treatment. They're going to be the control. And then we're going to compare. Okay. So a couple questions here. A couple holes in our, so far what we have. Treatment. What's going to be the treatment? The same as last time? Control is going to be the same as last time. Okay. What are we going to compare? So it won't be average shower time because it's only one person and one person. It's the same person. We would just compare shower times, right? We would just compare shower times. And then, so I have 50 people. So I would subtract them, right? The difference. Let's see. Is there anything we're leaving out? The answer is yes, we're leaving out something, but what are we leaving out? For randomization, yeah, we haven't done any randomization. Where can we do randomization? Yeah, that's what I think would be the best, right? Which shower they take first. They don't have any choice, right? Right here, randomization is still used to determine who gets which treatment or which treatment is given first. Okay, so let's start writing this down. Okay, so we got randomization. So we know when we're going to randomize, right? So let's explain that. We will randomize. Also, we don't have a picture to back up. A lot of times a picture helps because it explains what's going on. We don't have that in this one. So we have to explain more of what's going on. So for this guy here, where was it? Right here. They knew what the treatment was. They knew what the control was. They knew when I did a random assignment, and they knew what I compared. And they knew numbers. I don't have that. So I have to explain all of that what I'm doing now. Okay. So we have to explain, we will randomize. What did we say? Which shower subjects will use first? Okay. Because the person who reads this is not going to be there, if it's not on the paper, they can't grade it. So we talked about exactly what it would look like, right? Well, the person who's reading this is not going to know that we talked about that. So we have to explain what we talked about and how it will look. Okay, so we said we're going to randomize which shower subjects will use first. How are we going to do that? There you go. I was thinking flipping a coin, right? Because don't you just have two choices? Shower one or shower two? Flip a coin. Flip a coin to determine which shower will we use first? Will be used first. We'd say heads, tails. So which head, it doesn't matter. Literally this part doesn't matter, but we have to include it because it's a detail that is not on our picture because we don't have a picture. So we could say heads goes to treatment. Tails goes to control. There you go. Randomization is done. Replication. Replication is going to be a little bit more here because we have to explain what we're replicating. So we have to explain what's going on. So we would start by 25, or how many do I have? 100. So I would say all 100 subjects are to take 2 showers. All 100 subjects are to take 2 showers. 1 with, or let me write it this way. Treatment will be 120 degrees. Oops. Shower. Control will be controllable. Controllable temperature. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else? Controllable temperature. We don't have to say anything about comparing times because that's in control, but we did want to define who's in what. So everyone's going to be taking 2 showers. I think that's it for right now. Let's see, I'll leave a space just in case I forget something. Control. Okay. All subjects will be in treatment and control group. Okay, so they'll all be in the treatment and control group. Now here we could talk about what we're comparing. We will compare shower times for each individual person. Yeah. Shower times for each subject. Okay. Let's see, is there anything else that I've got in there? Okay, so let's read through it to see if this gives a picture of what we're saying, because we don't have a picture. Okay, so we're going to randomize which shower subjects we'll use first. We're going to flip a coin to determine which shower will be used first. So when someone's up, we say, all right, flip a coin. Heads, you're going to the treatment. You're going to 120 degrees. That's all you can use. We're not going to tell them that. We'll just go to that shower. Tails, they go to the other one. Okay. All right. So all 100 subjects are going to take 2 showers. Our treatment group is going to be the 120 degree shower only, and the control will be the one where they can actually control the temperature. All subjects will be in treatment and control groups. We will compare shower times for each subject. So we're only comparing the ones you versus you, shower 1 versus shower 2. So yes, that's a great question. And yes, they can. Is there a way for us to blind this one? No, we talked about this last time. Yes, but yes, absolutely. Absolutely, they can be blinded. Okay. Yeah, you can use blinding for any type of experiment. So the experiment we did with this guy here, this was a completely randomized experiment, right? We could do blinding there. We didn't, it wasn't possible in this one because they would know which class they're in. Are they doing the online? Or are they doing the in class? So, but yes, we could. Okay. And again, so if we were doing blinding, we would explain under the control. All right, I think that's about it for that one. All right, so.
Floors. Yes.
All right, so now I want you to do one on your own. Do I have one in here? Let's see. Here we go, match pair. The pizza lovers. Pizza lovers, match pair. We kind of talked about this one, I think yesterday, how we could do this. So what I want you to do for this guy is, so now you're not going to be marked off if you do a picture. If it helps you see what you're doing, you're not going to be marked off, but it's just, it's not required for this one. Okay. So I want you to do that. We'll talk about it and we'll be done. Okay, so how could we, where would we do randomization on this guy?
Randomized pizza should be first. Randomize which pizza is first.
Who would, so what person would eat first or what? Which pizza, right? Is that what you're saying? Which pizza? Yep, there you go. Which pizza? So we would randomize which pizza. We're gonna blind it, right? So that they can't see. Literally blind them. Yep. So we could randomize. So how would we? So let's explain that. Randomize. We will randomize which pizza, frozen versus pizza shop. Subjects eat first. Okay. How would we do that? We could flip a coin, yeah. That's a way to that I would think that's the easiest way. Probably we would assign heads would be frozen pizza, heads would be pizza shop pizza. So flip a coin. Heads will be one of them. Just make sure you label which one. So heads will be frozen. Tails will be pizza shop. Okay. That's the only place we would need to do randomization. Okay, replication. So replication, how many people we have? 96. So all 96 subjects will eat both types of pizza. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so control. Let's see. So everybody's going to be their own treatment and control group, right? So all 96 subjects will be in both treatment and control groups. Okay. Subjects will be blinded, right? Subjects will be blinded. When eating pizza. Okay. And the last thing is, what are we going to compare? How are we going to compare? We can compare ratings for the pizza. So there's only two types of pizza, right? So I wouldn't necessarily say we could rank the pizza, right? The rankings of the pizza. So number one would be the best, number two would be the worst. And then we could add up all the scores at the end. So the one that got the lowest score is the best pizza. The one that got the highest score is the not best pizza, the worst pizza. Okay. But just like Kaylee said earlier, what's another way you can do it in terms of pizza shop pizza? In terms of which one you think is pizza shop pizza? There you go. We can say how many got the right one. Compare and say how many decided. We can say how many guessed the correct pizza, right? Back in the day when I was young, when I was a young kid, even younger than you guys, the big thing was the Pepsi challenge. You guys heard of the Pepsi challenge? Pepsi challenge was if you take a sip of Pepsi and you take a sip of, which one do you like best? And they said Pepsi challenge, Pepsi will win every time. That was their Pepsi challenge. It was called the Pepsi challenge, and that's what it was. So they did commercials on this. They gave people a glass, because Pepsi and Coke, they look the same, right? They're both dark cola. They don't taste the same, but they look the same. They gave one of each, blindfolded them, have them test it. Which one do they like better? That was their Pepsi challenge. They said, we think that that you'll choose Pepsi every time, because Pepsi is a relatively newer company. Coke's been around since well over 100 years. Pepsi has been around for maybe half that, less than that probably. So Pepsi, even though Pepsi is popular now, 30 years ago when I was a kid, it wasn't as popular. Coke was the name brand. So that's why they created that. You know, it's one of the things that made people try their drink and became popular. So it's kind of like that idea, right? So subjects will be blinded when eating the pizza. We'll ask them which one they thought. Which one, let's see here. We'll ask subjects which one was Pizza Shop pizza. Pizza Shop pizza. And then compare those, right? Compare the answers. Okay. All right. Okay, like I said, that was the last thing we're going to do. That's the last part of the notes of the chapter. So tomorrow, I'm going to give you a review. Tomorrow, we're going to give you a review. That's all you're going to do. I'll give you some questions to review. You'll do that. If you have questions, you'll ask, you know, just like a regular review day. That's Wednesday. Thursday, we're going to have a group test. So Thursday will be a group test. Friday will be the multiple choice part. Friday will be the multiple choice part of the individual test. And then Monday, we'll do the free response part, okay? And then we'll be done with the chapter. All right.